These evil people wouldn't let it happen. And now people are going to go on their merry way. And I say, no, let's go back in time. Let's have that. Okay, yes, I am. I'm indignant about that. That sense of consternation I talk about and that I'm feeling. Okay, that's what it's about. It's about saying, where does it end? I mean, now there's talk about, raising the debt ceiling again. Just when last thing I heard was that Trump had already started paying down the debt. So what the hell's going on here? Okay, I want to know how anybody is getting richer when the debt's going up. Okay, this isn't okay. This is bullshit. Excuse my French, but I mean this is just designed to divide. That's what they're doing here. They're just dividing us. They want us irretrievably, irreconcilably divided. Okay? Yeah, and that upsets me. It upsets me to see the continuing debasement of my currency. Okay, and then they want us to be divided. Oh well, blame the billionaires. Look, Trump's giving tax cuts to the billionaires and all this and to the rich. And I think to myself, wait a minute, but we're not talking about the trillionaires. The mainstream media is fraudulent. They're derelict. They're delinquent. They're remiss. They're not doing their job, okay, as educators of the pertinent, contemporary information that people need to stay informed. The information, that's what the mainstream media is supposed to inform us. That's education. They've not been doing it. They've been lying, mistruths. I mean, they're owned by corporations and powerful individuals who want to conglomerate. They want to consolidate. And they want to centralize everything. This new world order. That's what they love. No, we want the opposite. Okay, if you borrow money and you lend money, you're on your own with that borrower and that lender individually. No government, no government. So this whole idea that the government could insure this crap, no. That's this whole crony capitalist crap, man. It's got to come to an end. So Jerome Corsi might be far more schooled. He might have Harvard degrees. He might have worked with presidents, whatever. Okay, but I know. Okay, I know the reality of this real estate business, and it's fraud up one side, down the other, and there's a whole lot of people involved, and it has become fascist, and the government has been involved. They got no business insuring these loans, none at all. That's not capitalism. Okay, that's that socialism for the wealthy, those that can afford to be investors. I mean, what percentage of Alex Jones's viewers are investors in Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac? Okay. And you could say, oh, well, through their 401k, because that's just an amalgamation, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Okay. Hey, you know what? We need a market reset. We need the worth of our currency to go up. People got to stop thinking about their own personal numbers keep going up. We got to start thinking about the worth of our currency going up. Okay. That means our cost of living must fall. And a lot of the stuff that investors do does not benefit the blue collar working class man on the street. That's just a matter of fact. Okay, because as money is hoarded, okay, and people have investments, it's stuck. It's dead money. It's not really it's not in circulation. It's not helping the average person, the poor person. It's not. Things just keep getting worse. And the government subsidies, you'd be right about that, particularly with the housing. I want to hear that. I mean, you say, oh, well, these subsidies for Obamacare, it's just raising the prices, and it's for the insurance companies, right? And I wholeheartedly agree. But again, you're just splitting hairs. It's all minutia. Okay, because the insurance companies, they're going to do whatever they can get away with. The same with the lenders. All your local banks and everything, and the real estate agents, they'll puff as much as they want, as much as they can. They're in cahoots. They're one of the special interest groups. The real estate companies, the lenders, all the people have an interest. The speculators, right? The investors, right? They all have an interest. So their motivation, their incentive for manipulating markets, for fixing prices, for not caring about others, for engaging in crony capitalism, okay, for creating this division, this wealth disparity. That's what it is. That's what do you think's creating it? And it's criminal, and it's wrong. It's immoral. It's unethical. I mean, it's ungodly. It's unholy. It's unrighteous. And I don't know what else I can say about it, but we've got to get our act together, man. People just need places to live. We got to define social, political, economic progress, not in Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal terms, but just in real terms. I mean, let's just be honest as a species and say, my God in heaven, what the hell is going on here? Why are we tolerating this? They've got us all anesthetized under a spell, mesmerized buy trinkets and knickknacks, smartphones. Look over here, look over there. Oh, don't worry about the economy. I mean, you got bigger fish to fry. We got problems with Syria and Russia and North Korea and all this. I was thinking about Alex had I forget who interviewed the man. He's very knowledgeable in North Korea. Wrote a book and nice guy. And but he was talking about the people, because recently I made kind of off the cuff statement about if maybe it was just a comment I left. I can't remember sometimes, but on a video, but North Korea, he said that, look, I made an off the cuff comment about if Kim Jong Un, if he bombs San Diego, because that's what people were saying. Oh, he could reach San Diego, and so he's going to nuke San Diego, right? He's going to get a bomb off to San Diego. And I thought to myself, I got a daughter down there, and I thought to myself, I'm not worried at all. This isn't going to happen because the guy, he might be insane, but he's not that insane. He knows that we could come in and level his country. But he's got all those people being held hostage there. And I was thinking about the correlation here in California. That's what it's like. Okay, we got a lot of people being held hostage here. So to blame all Californians for the direction California is going is whole cloth erroneous. It's wrong. It's like blaming the North Korean people for what they got going. I mean, they're scared. If they don't submit, they end up in one of these concentration camps and starve to death. I mean, this is where we're at in American history. It'd be like me blaming all Texans because JFK was assassinated in Dallas. I mean, you see, it's wrong. So, I mean, it actually hurts you more. It'd be like blaming all the German people for the Nazis, okay? No, you can't do that. I mean, you'd like to paint everything with a broad brush, keep it simple in your mind, but it's the same with liberals. I mean, they're super smart, super intellectual, super well-meaning, good-intentioned liberals out there. And the same goes for conservatives. I mean, it's just, we've got to be, you can't, paint everything with a broad brush. You could say there's misfits in that group that don't represent the group, and that the consensus of the group doesn't go along with. What are you going to do about that? I mean, it's just this idea of white supremacy in the Trump White House. I mean, it's like just because the white supremacist support, I mean, that could be a form of besmirching, you see? People got to think about the other angles, the false flag, the setup, the frame up kind of angle. Okay, that's what's going on. This is why, Trump needs to play this 4D chess. He can't do anything too fast. So I'm not going to condemn him just because there's talk about raising the debt ceiling. But I need him to grab the bull by the horn and say, where does this stop? And all these people that are allowing the debt ceiling to be raised, they're all well heeled. The politicians vote themselves raises. We all know that. The money printers can just print themselves as much money as they want. We all know that. So what the hell is going on here? Somebody has to be honest. That's really what it comes down to. It's not being really smart. It's not even being all that well educated. It's just being honest. It's just saying, oh my God, this guy's right. He's making sense. Now let's, face the music here. Let's stop making stuff worse. And they are making stuff worse. I mean, healthcare, where were we 100 years ago with healthcare? Why don't we go back to that? Doctor visits, that sort of thing. If that worked better, let's go back 100 years and do medical that way, okay? Whatever works. But, if it's not progress, let's call it regression. Let's call it what it is, anti-progress. It's a substitute for progress. But it sure ain't progress, and that's what I'm talking about. Social, politically, economically speaking, where's the meat? Where's the beef? Where's the progress? Show me. It's not there. And it's there so far in the other direction, it makes my head spin. And people got to understand that. We got to understand this is serious stuff, man. This is something the next generation is going to hold us all responsible for if we don't confront it and be honest. I mean, that's why I'm going on tape. I'm on record because doggone it, I want to live in peace with my fellow man. I want to be free. I want to be safe. I want to be secure. I want prosperity. And I'm willing that everybody have those things. And I know that the only way that I can have those things is if other people have them. And I need people to understand this stuff. I need people to start talking in their own words. I mean, but somebody's got to take the things I'm saying, because I don't have a megaphone. I don't have some high platform to say what I have to say from. And I'm not even sure I'm that interested in it, to be honest with you. I mean, really, really, to be a big name like so many of these people. I mean, if anyone, I mean, anybody out there that understands, not everybody wants to be somebody that's in the limelight, in the spotlight. Okay, there's a lot of perks to being a nobody. Okay, there really is. I got to tell you, and I just wish that the message would get out there, and the kind of information that I'm talking about gets out there, so people have an understanding, a basic understanding of how economics works, understanding basic things like supply and demand, how this works, how our economy is being manipulated with this artificial demand on commodities, and it's the housing, and then understand the chain reaction that's involved when you cause the cost of something to be overpriced and people have to pay it. It's like a tax. Otherwise, there's serious implications, serious ramifications. It's the cost to survive, the cost of living. Okay, so yes, it's as bad as any tax could ever be if you got to pay it in order to keep living. Okay, that's pretty serious. So, I mean, I may not be screaming and yelling and ranting right now, but believe me, okay, I cannot overemphasize the imperative nature of understanding basic, so you can hold your own with anybody. Basics, economics principles. What's supposed to happen? How do you define progress? Stuff gets cheaper. Your currency goes up in worth. You understand? How you are set free? Because the opposite is that more and more burden and less freedom through rising cost of living, cost of surviving, a tax, the most pernicious, worst kind of tax. A tax just to survive, to keep on living. If you want to keep on living, you keep on paying that cost of living tax, that cost to survive tax. So when you look at it like that, it looks a lot different, right? That it's not so great that people have manipulated your cost of living, your cost to survive upward, is it? It's not so great, is it? Because not everybody out there can just tell their boss, look, my rent went up, my bills went up, I need more money. Because they'll say, no, I'm sorry, but you're already getting paid more than the prevailing wage in this industry, and I'll just find a new guy and supplant you. You understand? And you're put out the pasture. And so you can't do what you want to do in your life, right? Because you can't make a buck at it. Isn't that our so-called reality? When really, I mean, how would God have it? Let's just be honest, ask ourselves rationally and logically, assuming God is a good God, loving God, wants the best for all of his children, how would it be if God was running the show? If there was no money, okay, when there is no money too, this is something we got to ready ourselves for. A time in history that's coming very soon when there is no money. How will it work? Okay, well, it's going to have to work through instinct. That instinct to not want to be a self-serving, lazy, decadent, slothful piece of crap, right? That you're going to say, I'm going to chip in here. Okay, my fellow man needs help, and I'm not going to be a pissant. I'm going to help. I have a conscience. I have honor. I have integrity. I have an instinct. I have an intuitive nature that wants to do these, that wants to be appreciated, wants to be useful. Okay, that's what will drive us. We don't need it to be this way. Okay, and somebody's got to prove me wrong, and you can't, because if I was wrong and really, the system would break down, and if everybody was prosperous and all this, prove it to me that we've taken it the opposite direction. We've gone the other direction. And this is why I don't understand sometimes when I hear Alex Jones talk about this entitled class and these millennials. And you know what? I mean, if these people want to drop out, there's never been more of a reason before in history to psychologically just want to drop out of the system, man. It's not working. You talk about all these useless college degrees that people are going to get, and they're going to be in debt forever. I mean, where's your compassion? Where's your empathy? Where's your mercy for these people? I mean, please, these are your brothers and sisters. They're fellow Americans we're talking about. And you can, make fun if it, that gives you some kind of relief, calling people libtards and snowflakes and all this. But hey, you know what? They're beloved children of God too. You've got no business judging them to the point of condemning them. And if you think they're so wrong, then you have an obligation to reach them, to be effective as you honestly, okay. And I did hear Alex Jones saying something recently. He gave a big good speech, and then at the end he said something that was very conciliatory, reaching out an olive branch, an olive leaf, and to everyone. Basically that's it, and it's a beautiful thing. It shows that God is working on all of us. We're all growing. I mean, hell, I'm just as pathetic and human as anybody else. Believe me. Okay, I am. That's why I don't judge people to the point of condemning them, because I need to not be judged to the point of condemning me. I'm in a fallen state. I'm a sinner, and I have a very tough time contending with this world system. I feel very weak. I don't feel like I'm as brave and courageous and strong as I need to be to keep coping. But somehow I keep coping because I keep turning to God for help. And, I mean, we need each other too. I mean, humanity needs humanity. So I need contact with human beings like we all